Hello, welcome back to Level 2 Pipe Bending. Today I'm going to show you how to do a semi-Passover bend to measurements from a diagram. I'm going to show you how to do it two ways. First, the traditional way, and then second, the McKeown technique. Right, so the specifications of the bend, we're going to be using 15mm pipe throughout. The pipe centres at 80mm apart. And when the pipe passes over, there's going to be 15mm clearance. Right, so let's draw it out first. Draw a line. Right, so there's 15mm pipe with 15mm clearance. So we measure up 30mm. That's right, so the reason it's 30mm is because we've got 15mm pipe and the specification says that we need to clear it with 15mm clearance. So 15 plus 15 is 30. All right, so on the middle of our piece of paper, about there, draw a square line. Like that. And that line and we then measure 80mm here, and we then measure 80mm here. Okay, so 80mm. Right. What we then do next is we then join up the lines. So one, two, like that. Right, so the first bend we're going to bend is the middle bend. All right, so using a folding ruler, we're going to set this angle like this. Okay. We then measure approximately from there to there. So that's approximately, let's call it 90mm. There's a little bit extra. So we're going to measure 90mm there. I'm going to do the olive trick. Just mark around the pipe, like that. If the camera shows it. Okay, so it's a little bit longer, so we can trim it. I've just measured about there. Right, we then get the pipe. So with the bit we've measured, it's going to go in like just this side. Okay, but just anywhere at this stage. Okay, so we just put the pipe in. Go back to this technique. We've got to work out where the centre of the bend is. So the pipe's touching the former in 2 spots, 1, 2, and it's also in line with the pipe. Okay, so example, touching, touching, but not in line. Touching, touching, it's in line. And where the 2 rulers intersect, that is going to be the centre of the bend. So just from another angle, okay, so just to sort of explain it. So it's touching, touching, in line, and where the 2 rulers intersect there, that's going to be the centre of the bend. Right, so what we then do, the line we marked out earlier, we line that up there to there, like that. We then bend this pipe to this angle here. Okay. Like that, and then take it out. Right, then what you then do, go back to your diagram. So you line up this line here so it's straight, and you want it to be looking at this line and this line. It's the same. So we're lining it all up. Also looking here, so this gap from there to there to there needs to be the same. Okay, so it's on the piece of paper, that gap from there to there and there to there. And what you then do is you then draw a line all the way across like that. But, right, you then get the folding ruler, but this time we're going to be looking at this angle here. Okay, so we set that to that angle. Right, then put your pipe back in the pipe bender, and we want that edge of this just touching the start of the former. So here. Okay, so make sure the pipe's nice and straight, which it is. Out there. Yeah. Right, take the pipe out. Right, then put our piece of work back onto the diagram. It's looking like that. That's what we've done so far. And we then see the bottom bit there, so I'll just sort of show you from there. Draw a line there. Get the pipe cutter just about. Cut the pipe like that. So it's looking like that. Right, so what we'll then do, we'll go back to the jig to have a look. So we go to the jig. that. I'll have a look. So the middle of the pipe's there, 80mm and 15mm clearance, like that, 15mm clearance. Right. Right, now for the McKeown techniques, what we'll do, got a folding ruler. Right, so we need to try and work out what angle this is. So using our protractor, that angle is 45 degrees there. Right, so what we do, we get some pipe. Right, so we measure, right, so let's do it a little bit longer. So let's call it 90mm. Let's measure 90mm, which is there. Right, so we're going to do the olive trick, because this is a line we're going to be looking at. Like that. Like that. Right, what we then do, looking at the McKeown chart, measure back chart, because we want to bend this bend 45 degrees, we have to measure back 35mm. Okay, so that's the centre. That's the centre. I've measured back 35mm, which is there. So the 35mm mark just touches the start of the former, which is there. We then bend this to 45 degrees. Assessments. So I'd say there. Right, what we then do, so that line like that. So that line, so the middle of the pipe is there, and also it's in line there. So we can cut this one later. Right, so what we then do, do a line here, and we convert that into a cross, which is there, like that. Like that. So we've converted that into a cross. Okay, so like that. Right, is if that angle there was 45 degrees, we then need to bend this back 22.5 degrees. Right, so what we then do, okay, so we know that 45 degrees we measure back 35mm. So because we have to bend this half of that, we then measure back half of 35mm, which is 17.5mm. So using our ruler, is there. Okay, so that's the line we want there. So we measure back 17.5mm, which is there. So that mark, the measure back mark, goes into the bender there, to there, to there, to there. We then set our angle up to 22.5 degrees, which is there. Which is there. And we then make sure the pipe is nice and straight. Which is there. And we then bend it all the way round to 22.5 degrees. It's there. Right, what we can do this time, just for a bit of variety. Right, so we know the middle of the pipe's got to go there, like that. So if we mark the edge there, just another way to show you. Cut the pipe there, like that. Work into the jig. Right, that's the measure back technique way. Now you know how to do a semi-Passover bend using the traditional way and the McKeown way. What way would you do it? It's your turn to have a go.